Hello beautiful people, and welcome to a what I eat in a day as a high carb vegan. So the night before I made overnight oats. I ended up using about a third cup of regular oats and then a third cup of this ancient grain blend that I picked up. I think I do prefer just the regular oats for my overnight oats, so I'll probably stick to those in the future. And then in that I cut up 2 medjool dates. So I find medjool dates in overnight oats, they just turn so creamy and delicious, and the caramel flavor runs through all the oats. And if you haven't tried it yet, I highly suggest you put them in the night before, not the morning of, with all the rest of the fruit. I also topped it off with some cashew milk. I usually buy almond milk, but I saw the cashew milk, so I decided to try it. I don't know if I have a preference. I'll probably just end up getting whatever one's on sale in the future. So for the dates, I just chop them up really fine and throw them all in and give it a quick stir before I put it into the fridge. But yeah, like I said, I don't think adding the dates the morning of would necessarily give it the same texture because they hydrate in the milk and the gooiness just flows throughout the oats. And as you can tell by my voice and my description, I'm trying to get you to try this because it is delicious. So all you have to do is put those all together and then pop it in the fridge, and it becomes a really quick breakfast in the morning. So when I wake up in the morning, I really like to hydrate first thing. So I probably end up drinking about 1 liter in the morning before I go to work. For your oats, you just have to take them out of the fridge and pick the fruit you want to put in it. So this morning I had peaches, which are in season right now, and they're so good and juicy and delicious. And then a spotty ripe banana for added sweetness and get my carbs and my sugars in to give me the energy for my work day ahead. So just plop those overnight oats into a bowl. You could probably also use the jar, but I decided to do an Instagram post, so I went with a bowl just so I could lay out my fruit all nice and pretty, like Instagram doers do it. So for my Instagram picture, I ended up using only like half a banana and half a peach, but once I took the picture, I just threw all the rest of my fruit on top because at that point presentation doesn't really matter and the flavor and the taste is really all that does. Just me making my presentation or trying to make it somewhat pretty for Instagram there. So for lunch, I've been doing a lot of mono meals of mangoes. So I decided to have 4 mangoes and I just cut them all up. This is the easiest way to cut. Just do the little zigzags and then take a spoon and scoop them all out. I work outdoors and it gets quite hot in the summer, so I find eating just fruit throughout lunch is really good for my digestion, and it also keeps my energy levels up. I myself was quite surprised that you could go a lunch just with fruit and have enough energy, but I've been doing it for about a month now and it has been working out fantastic. So I usually have 1 break before my lunch. So for my break, I just packed 2 kiwis, cut them up, and they were very good. I also had some romaine lettuce left over, so I just threw that in with my mangoes. So after work, I was going to go for a bike ride, but before I was a bit hungry, so I decided to make a quick smoothie. So I just threw in some strawberries I had in the freezer, a couple handfuls of spinach. I tried to squish them all in. I probably could have used my bigger blending cup, but oh well. And then I just added in a spotty banana. I usually have bananas in the freezer, but I didn't have any right now, so I just ended up using a ripe one. And then I just filled that with a bunch of water and blended that up. And that was just a quick snack. I also feel like having something a bit crunchier, so I had some celery with almond butter. So when I got back from my bike ride, I decided to make veggies and rice for dinner. I ended up using quite a variety of vegetables. I have a lot in there, so I used some of the old radishes that I had from last week's shop, some broccoli, zucchini, some carrots, some celery. And then what I do is I don't use oil when I stir fry the veggies. I just heat up the pan and you just put a little bit of water into the pan and then just keep stirring the veggies, and the steam from the water cooks them, and I think it tastes just as good. So for my rice, I alternate between basmati, and then the rice that I just put in was the wild rice. I think I do prefer the flavor of basmati, but the wild rice, it just has more substance and it feels a bit heartier. And it does have a few more nutrients in it, but like I said, I just alternate. And there was my final dinner. It was really good. I usually put sriracha sauce on top and the liquid soy seasoning, the Bragg's. I don't limit my salt, but I try to not do too much salt, so I just put a little bit of spoonful in there. And a few dollops of sriracha because I don't like it too spicy. And I just cut up a little bit of avocado to give it that kind of creamy goodness and some flavor in there. So I hope you enjoyed my first video of what I eat in a day. Subscribe and like if you want to see more. Thanks so much, guys.